here with George Bagley, and George is an electronics engineer, and he's spent quite a lot of time building his own optical equipment to observe the skies. So we're going to go through some of the equipment now. He's going to explain what he's been doing over recent years in order to track the sky during daytime. Now, George, just tell us why did you decide to use your electronics expertise to build all of this optical equipment?
Well, I felt I needed the answers to the ET UFO phenomenon. I wasn't going to find them by someone coming with the evidence, so I needed to look for it myself, and
right.
I built the equipment to do that.
And you've been interested in the UFO phenomenon for some...
Yes, long time. Yeah.
Right, and you haven't actually observed the skies at the address where you are now. Tell us where you've done your observations from, because you've just moved, yeah?
Yes, I moved from Albrighton, Shropshire, which is about a mile and a half from Cosford, the airbase. Yeah. And mainly from the back garden there, which had clear skies. Yeah.
All right, and for a living you've fixed TVs for many years.
That's correct.
So you know a lot about electronics. Okay. Yes, yes. So we're going to look at some of the equipment now that that we've got on the table here, and then after that we're going to look at some footage that George has managed to capture. Right, so just start us off. What was the first piece of kit that you started with, George?
Well, it was this night vision scope made from an ex-military image intensifier tube. At the one end, zoom lens. At the other end, a bullet camera to capture the video. That gave quite good results.
There's 4 different types of category in these optics, isn't there?
That's correct. This is the first generation image intensifier.
Second generation, what's the difference with that?
Well, you do get clearer images as you go up through the generations, but we can't get that kind of equipment in this country.
So third generation and fourth generation are
military grade.
They're military and they're illegal.
In this country they're illegal.
Right, but you can get 1 and 2, and this is the first generation. So it's not actually looking at infrared or ultraviolet, this device, it's intensifying the image in the visible spectrum, is that right?
That's right, and it's meant for nighttime captures.
Right, and you've also got a video output on this, yeah?
That's right, via the bullet camera at the eyepiece end there.
So how does that interface to your video equipment? Is there an interface?
There's a video capture card that connects to the computer. Video is captured that way.
Right, and where is the port on the system?
That will be at this end.
All right, I see.
The lead is not plugged in at the moment.
So it actually goes, it plugs into there.
That's correct.
Right, all right. What did you acquire next?
Well, next I moved on to this one because it was lightweight, another night vision scope.
You got this at
Lidl's.
at Lidl's. George bought this at Lidl's.
It was about £120 at the time, but then probably a lot more now. And this one did have the advantage of being lightweight and a video output socket for recording.
Do you want to just show me the front lens?
There.
Yeah, okay.
So it's 5 times magnification and a 50mm lens. And
again, it's not infrared or ultraviolet. All it's doing is it's intensifying what's available in the visible spectrum.
Yes, again for nighttime shots. It gives good results. Not as good as that one, but good enough.
Right, all right. And what have you got for us next?
Then I moved on to daytime video using infrared.
Right.
And this is the Sony camera that I acquired for that because it has night shot feature on there. So that needs to be turned on and an infrared filter fitted to the front. Because
some video cameras, they actually are recording infrared and visible light, although you probably don't know it.
That's right.
And what you're doing there is you're trying to filter out the visible light with that filter. Can you take the filter off, George?
They do screw off there on the front. So they're stacked together there, so back to the...
Right. So it's a normal camera with night shot facility. Yes. And just to stress, you're using these cameras to film during the day, you're not filming at night.
That's correct. It's not possible to film at night in infrared, you just get black screens.
Right.
Yes.
All right, and what have you got for us next?
Well, from there, because that's a standard definition one, I did then go on to high definition security camera made by Samsung. I haven't fully tested this one yet, but I've heard people say they get good results from that.
And this again is an infrared.
Infrared, yes. I've concentrated mainly on infrared after that because I was getting better results.
Just fill us in what this device is for here.
This is a Sony stills camera that has night shot also, and the capability of recording video footage. Again, it's one I've acquired recently, second hand, and I haven't fully tested that one. I'm hoping to get high definition pictures from that.
So what you've done then, you've put these cameras in your garden on a tripod which has got some quite sophisticated motors on it, so you can pan and tilt and look at different portions of the sky. And you're actually running the video cables into your house, so you can actually sit and look at them on a screen when you've got all the kit in the garden. But if you wanted to go outside or to a remote location and view what's been filmed, you've got a little screen down here.
Yes,
just show us that, George.
This is an outdoor monitor screen with high brightness. And with a sun hood on there to cut down on reflections. And
also, if you're wanting to go out on site, you've got this unit here, which just turn that around for us, George. It's just probably something you'd buy at Halfords, is it?
Yes, it's a portable power supply and charger, but 12 volt output. So that's enough to power this equipment for about 8 hours.
Right. So as I say, you've got your cables which can run your video signals and power from the house, and you're mounting them. Well, we can see there you've got a pan and tilt unit there.
These are all homemade pan and tilt mechanisms because they needed to be very, very slow and fine adjustment. Well, with night vision, I would be monitoring the video live and adjusting the pan and tilt. So I could pan with any object that comes into screen.
Right.
During the daytime, I use automatic pan and tilt.
Right, so we're just in George's living room, and he's got these pan and tilt mechanisms, which he's just going to show us that he uses to track the sky with his cameras. So away you go, George.
Well, this one looks a bit Heath Robinson with bits of Meccano on there, but this one's automatic, so that you can set the dials for timer intervals where the camera will move for a set period of time, stay there for another set period of time, and then move on. It can rotate 270 degrees and then reverse and go back the other way. That can be left unattended for 8 hours and it will video quite happily without any adjustment at all.
Right.
Whereas this one, this is a 360 degree rotating pan and tilt mechanism.
You built this all yourself? Yeah?
I have, yes. And this is controlled via this control box. Right. So you have speed controls for the pan and tilt motors and directional switches. So you can reverse the direction.
So do you want to give us a demonstration?
So this is the tilt mechanism. You can adjust the speed to almost
Let me get a shot from the side so we can see it tilting there now. So just adjust it then, George. And you can go down really slow there, yeah?
Or very fast. It does have a limit switch, so it will reverse the motor automatically once it reaches the end of its travel.
So that's a tilt.
That's the tilt,
what
yes.
About the pan?
The pan, again, fully adjustable. And will rotate a full 360 degrees. It has a slip ring through the middle which all the cables pass through.
Yeah.
Power and video.
A slip ring, for those who don't know, is an electrical contact which can move. So you've got it's normally a brush and a ring, so things can rotate without wires getting in a knot.
Okay, so that's, and there is a third pan and tilt that we saw on the table earlier, controllable via a control box like this, but that one will only go the 270 degrees.
Now you will often leave these unattended, is that right, George? And you put them on some sort of program.
That's right. This one in particular I can leave unattended and it will run throughout the day, 8 hours. That's the length of time that I can record onto the hard drive of the camera. And during that time it will go a full travel around and then reverse and go back.
So you're filming during the day. Why have you chosen to do daytime viewing, George? Because most people hunting for UFOs will do nighttime vision.
Oh, well, that's because there are objects up there all the time and they're not visible to the naked eye. They're visible in the infrared spectrum. Apart from orbs, triangular craft that I've captured, there are spiraling creatures, all manner of things up there that you wouldn't normally see unless you view them through the infrared.
Right. All right, and George, well, we're going to have a look at some of what you've captured next, but thanks very much for explaining that. Very impressive.